Yeah, well, you use the word interesting to describe those efforts in Texas and Florida, and those are generous words to use to describe what's happening there. And even in Ohio, where they are considering a bill that would restructure higher ed as that state knows it. Firstly, you mentioned what would be the effects of if affirmative action is overruled. It's important to note for folks that the ruling will not be as simple as affirmative action is upheld or affirmative action is struck down. It's going to be really important, particularly for folks whose work touches this area, to not breathe in the headlines, but to interpret or go to trusted sources to read and interpret the decision before reacting and possibly overcorrecting. Now, why do I say this? Think back to the California Prop 209 affirmative action fight, right? California, as you know, struck down affirmative action, but because folks across the P through 20 pipeline sort of overread the decision and overcorrected, the negative effects of gutting affirmative action, like sharp declines in underrepresented minority students in higher ed, were exasperated. So this, of course, is no indictment on those folks. It's a lesson for us to learn from. With that said, we have to zoom out a little bit and reject the idea that attacks on affirmative action and attacks on DEI and attacks on curriculum and true history and book bans under the guise of CRT are all isolated. We are in the throes of a well-coordinated, well-funded strategic attack on equal opportunity. And while I caution this community to not overcorrect, I must also warn folks that the other side is going to take even a whiff of a negative ruling on affirmative action and ring the alarm.